Hey, hello, welcome to Tech It Trucker and Car Series. Today we're going to change the oil in this Crown Vic. This is a 91. Um, I'm not sure where the oil was leaking, but go figure. This is a temporary car. I picked it up on the cheap, and I thought that I was going to have this running, but seems like I just keep on putting it off. Now it's too hot, to work on stuff, but. So I can see I took this cap off to kind of let the thing drain faster. I got the pan. Take this down. This is a 302. It's got two plugs. This you can barely get a socket on there because it's got a shallow head. It's only a quarter of an inch maybe big. So you go to the bottom and right there. I guess you can see that. Yep. I've tried to take that first one off, trying to get over, but yeah, the socket just starts to round it off. I'm not sure what that forward plug is for, but um, I've never had it out, so I don't know if it's got a magnet in there or what it's for. This is that's my actual. I like to put that Teflon tape. But I'm not sure if it's out here. No, it's not out here. Yeah, I got this new stuff that I tried. It's You pay twice as much for it. It's supposed to be oil resistant, which I don't do very much plumbing, so I don't work with water lines and that. So I said, yeah, oil resistant is probably going to work better for me. It's a little bit more. It's a little bit more suited for the automotive. But we had a question. Today's today's topic was the oil and everything. But since we're on the same car, we were uh, we were asked about the 2000, and I believe it was a 2006 or 2003 Lexus. Um, and
If it would take the lacquer
if you
thinner.
could put the lacquer thinner on it.
Which, if y'all haven't seen that video, go see should I do this, and this is where the comment is.
Well, the only thing I would suggest, I know you could compare other YouTube videos, and they were kind of using it on newer type vehicles. I don't have a new vehicle to let you know about. I didn't actually have that code. Matter of fact, I still have an engine code, but I think it's got to do with something else. But it didn't change the way that this car runs, and I think it was a Ford Taurus that I watched the video on. I would suggest
Didn't
you
we
get
watch a
sound like you.
BMW one too? I think we seen a BMW or something one
It could have, yeah.
also.
It was some. It was
An
some.
older BMW though, not a newer one.
I would suggest, take it to the Lexus dealer and ask them what it would cost to just replace the catalytic converter. Um, some of these YouTubers are deleting the catalytic converter, but if you do that, you also have to change you also have to change the computer program so that it doesn't, so that it don't keep throwing that code. So, and that's going to cost money too. So.
So he was talking about Cataclean. What is that? Is that the same thing as lacquer thinner?
No, Cataclean wouldn't be. You take it off, which I was just doing it the lazy way. Just dump it in the tank and let it kind of flush through. Cataclean, you take the converter off and you apply the application on, and you take and let it sit and rinse it out. And there's a process that you have to do. I think it was a couple of times you try to remove that stuff, and you do it manually. But you know, I've had other people tell me that, you know, I'm just going to replace it. So, you know, if you replace it, it's $800. If you try the lacquer thinner, then it's $15.
Right.
But I don't know if it's gonna work. If it works, they said it would be 500 miles before you know anyways. So if the car runs for 500 miles, you're only out $15, and you probably cleaned a whole bunch of shit in your intake.
Right.
It worked really good on this car, but and I was trusting what the YouTubers. And those looked like a couple of them were actual mechanics. They said it's probably safe. So.
By the way, hit like for this video.
That's right.
And subscribe. We need 100 subscribers. We're up to 35, but we need 100.
Absolutely.
And thank you for all the commenters and everyone watching these videos.
All right, I'm gonna throw my plug in. Today's video is brought to you by Anjo.
You wish it was brought to you by.
It's actually this company here. They just merged with. This is Hummel. What's the name of that?
Wix filters.
It's Man and Hummel, but it was Purelator and Wix merged. So
Yeah.
that they say that's a good filter to have. I get this one at the O'Reilly's. But if you got one of these older Fords, you know, these it's probably a good idea to change the oil in them about every 4,000 miles. I had a Dodge. Oh, this fly is trying to get right into my hole. I had a Dodge Spirit, and it recommended that you leave the filter on every other oil. Yeah, you almost had a Dragonfly. It recommended that you put new oil in, but you leave the filter every other. I've never done that, even with that car. My thing is, you know, I mean, maybe they were worried about the threads or something wearing out, but this is going to strain all the metal and all the water or whatever you get into the oil. So, like I said, this car. doing good. I found out from the original owner that he'd already rebuilt the transmission. So if you see me messing around in it and everything else, it's probably got a lot to do with the fact that it was already redone one time. Then you got
well, it is a 91, so yeah, that kind of makes sense.
yeah, I mean, sure. I mean, I'm lucky if you get a couple years out of tow vehicles. This has never been towed, but and it's never been drag raced or nothing like that. I don't think.
No, only by you.
Drag raced?
No. I mean,
Give
like...
a thumbs up if you think it's been drag raced.
A burnout, I mean. No drag racing.
Oh, it was dragging, but it wasn't doing a lot of racing. No, the car's okay. I mean, it's...
This car is pretty fast, though.
Yeah, to about 85. If you had the police edition, which they look like these, this is
Yeah.
a family car. But I saw one video, they said the police edition would be maybe about 7 miles per hour faster top end, but probably not any different coming off a stop sign or something like that. It's probably just the final. I don't know anything about those rear ends, but so when they said that, I'm thinking, even if they had a cop car at 91, which I'm sure some states did, if I find the cop car, because this is a standard size, so if I stay with this car, I got to stay with that year too. Because I found a newer car, I said, hey, what would you charge for the rims and tires? He said, oh no, this is metric, your car is SAE. I said, well, so I can't just put any old year on this. If I switch it over to a newer one, it'd probably be a lot of trouble anyway. So I'm gonna spin this back in.
Try to get you.
Oh, look at that. It was the wicks that come off there.
Oh.
Well, somebody must know what they're doing. Because I'm serious. It's when they do the test, you can find that link. Well, I can put the link in the description. But they do a test on these, and you definitely can't go wrong with this filter. It says right there, made in USA, and that's. But it's the way that they construct them. They got the metal, you also got these the material that they could put in there. It might just be not enough to do anything, or it might easily bypass and get plugged up, and then it's not doing nothing. It's just passing through, and it's not straining. But, so I got that tight. But we just wanted to wanted to do a quick thing on this to let you know. I mean, there ain't no reason for me to, you know, make up a story. I mean, this thing been doing just fine with that lacquer thinner. And by the way, thank you very much for sharing so many times. We can see how many times the video's been shared or viewed.
10,000, and I think it was,
which is amazing.
yeah. My channel don't get that many views, and 2 years hasn't had that many views. And if y'all haven't seen that channel, go to Attack Adventures. That's all it is, Attack Adventures. It's a patriotic channel about American flags and unique places, and it backs the military. So go check it out. We have fun doing those videos.
It sure is a lot of fun. I mean, just
things that we never realized existed too, like where we were last week, which will be up this week. I never knew it was near our town.
Right. Well, I mean, like where you're talking about, where that natural bridge was with the it's not natural, but I mean it was.
You mean the highway bridge?
The garden bridge?
Yeah.
I've been underneath that thing 200 times, and I kept thinking, wow, nobody ever on the bridge. I didn't know what it was, and I didn't care enough to go and look either.
Yeah.
But maybe now you see the video, you'll go looking. It's pretty cool.
You need a rag?
Oh, I got it. I know that bucket was 5 quarts, so that's close for this. But yeah, definitely. Thank you all for the video views, and you know, sorry that there's not more technical stuff. I mean, I can try to give more technical stuff, but I'm the kind of person I like to, you know, have them like in the situation of a newer Lexus or something. I mean, first thing, you know, when the question was the P065 code, and I mean, I guess that's a question for your dealership. You know, if you want to trust the videos, there's probably about 15 of them, and you know, just that's a tough thing. I wouldn't want to say one way or another. Obviously, I wasn't afraid with this one, and if that car's paid off, and you think it could save you $800, give it a roll. You know?
He wasn't afraid, but I was afraid because I didn't know what he was doing. Because I didn't say anything when he did it, and I was like thinking, what in the heck is he doing? I didn't ask him, didn't say anything. I just let him do it, and I filmed it. That was our first video.
That video, yeah, but that's lacquer thinner, and it's a petroleum product, so
yeah.
I've dumped transmission oil into the carburetor to. They said that was an old trick with the carburetors, and a mechanic told me to do it, and I did it, and 900 miles later, my engine was. We think that that it collapsed a lifter in the head, which now I'm going to get comments that couldn't collapse a lifter. But I'm telling you, this car was running. This was back in the mid 80s.
Oh, I thought you were talking about this car. Okay.
No. We think that it collapsed the lifter because the car was running great until I decided to lube my upper cylinder lifters. With hydraulic lifters, it's already getting lube. That might have been a trick for solid lifters. Probably was. It probably, you know, I got my information incorrect, and I don't want to give the wrong information on a Lexus. So,
Yeah.
I've never worked on a Lexus too. So. All right. Well, thanks for watching, and
We'll come back to you here in a moment.
hey guys, we're gonna wrap it up in front of this golf sign. Give us 15 likes, and we'll light it up at night. So, you know, I got a few bulbs in there tonight. Give me time to put some bulbs in there. But,
Yeah, and we might tell you the story behind how we got it here if you give us 15 likes.
Absolutely, yeah. And in the description, or whatever, you could comment whether you think this is a 1 or 2 man job setting it up the way it is. It was designed to be up on a pole, so. But this is my work light, so when I'm working on my junk, yeah.
Which isn't junk. Okay.
Thanks, hon.
So,
Okay, well, like and subscribe. We need 15 likes for that video. All right, have a good one.